get to it though. You know what I mean? And when I say poverty, I already, from doing this episode, right, you're going to hear some financial terminology in here that's going to make it sound like, well, damn, B, like you should have just did a fucking financial video for this shit, because this sounds like some real money shit going on right here, which is going to sound like. But I already see that I will have to do a money class based upon the stuff that I learned. And this is amazing shit. I kid you fucking not. This is amazing shit that I've learned about Gemini. But you'll learn tips and tricks about what poverty is, because I kind of already spoke about it before in the Taurus vids. What poverty is, and hinted to it in the Aries vids too. What poverty is, why it's a design. I'll be throwing hints in there how this begins, right? So let me begin by saying this. The House of Gemini is not only the house of learning. Of course, it's about errands. Of course, it's about vehicles, bikes, skateboards, skates, buses, cars, horses, you name it. You know what I'm saying? What I'm missing? Scooters. What else I'm missing? All that shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's all that. It's about mail. It's about physical mail in the envelopes and mailboxes, post offices, contracts. Let's not forget contracts. What else? We're even talking about walking and running and sprinting. Talking about that shit too. Emails, right? Emails. Just sending an email. Just looking at an email. You know what I'm saying? All types of forms of communication in mail. Publishing, but like the internal type publishing, not on the grandiose scale as you would think. It's like 97.6 ZR01, right? That's the fucking radio station that's like Midtown right now. Not really, but I'm just saying as an example, right? But that's your local radio station, right? The antenna's somewhere around here and it hits off to the other antennas and it gets to your fucking device, however it gets there through radio signals. That's Gemini shit, right? What that means, right? And this is what I found out here, that Gemini is not only the house of learning, but Gemini is the house of earning. Now, look at how the word earning fits right inside of the word learning. All you got to do is remove the L and you have earning, right? So I'm making a claim, and remember I said this. Remember you heard this here. The third house is actually a money house. That's right. The third house is actually a money house because it deals with income. See, the second house is really like treasury, what you have for yourself, right? Think of second house as what you've brought home, your personal bank, your savings account, right? But it's not where you earn money. It's where your spending habits are, your financial attitude resides, right? So if you don't save money, then you don't really have a strong second house. Listen to what I'm saying, okay? It means that you like to spend your money when you get it. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to spend it on you, whether you want to spend it on material items, if you want to spend it on your family members, this, that, and the third. Now, listen, even more, I'm going to get to earning, but you earn in the third house. A lot of people hustle backwards. What do? They earn in the third house and they go spend money on themselves. So that's going from the third house to the second house, when in an astrological wheel, the second house from whatever house is the benefit of that house. Let me say that again. The second house from the house that we're talking about is the benefit of that house. So if we're talking about second house, 2 houses over, second, third house is where the benefit of the second house comes from, so on and so forth. So it's like this. If you earn money in the third house, where I'm about to tell you how third house means earning, then that means that the benefits that you earn from the third house goes into the fourth house. But just think about this, right? What is the first job that we pick up as children in the community, right or wrong? People send you to the store. What do? They send you to the store. You can call that an errand, right? But when you go to the store, they say things like, keep the change, right? And some people are generous to the point where they'll say, take $5 for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You're like, oh, shit. So now you've realized at a young age that you have gotten a gig, right? But this is neighborhood community shit, right? not only will your parents or your relatives send you to the store, right? Your siblings and stuff like that, your older siblings, your aunts, your uncles, which is also third house related, send you to the store, give you tips and shit like that, buy you stuff while you're there, or pick, if you want something, pick something up for yourself, get a snack or whatever the case may be. So not only will they send you, if the neighbors in the neighborhood sees you running back and forth to the store too, they might holler at you out the window, right? Hey, look, you going to the store? Look, I'm gonna drop some money out the window, right or wrong. Stop fucking playing, especially if you grow around where I grew up. They'll throw some fucking money out the window, or they'll lower that shit down in a cup and be like, yo, pick me up X, Y, and Z. Keep the change, right? So now you got your gig. Now you got your first piece of money, right? Your first piece of change. But you've earned it. You've earned it. That is the action of earning. Gemini, third house is action oriented. If you think I'm playing, for those of you who have Saturn inside of the third house right now, you start earning. As you're earning, you're learning. As you're earning, you're learning. So this is what I mean, right? If you want to, let's say you want to learn about real estate, right? Let's say you want to learn about real estate. So what you do is you go around your neighborhood and you start looking at all of, let's say you want to learn about commercial real estate too, or just real estate in general. You go around your neighborhood and you look at all the for sale signs that's in front of these houses, in front of these stores, whatever the case may be, right? You jot down all the information that you can, the phone number, who you calling to speak to, what's the name of the realty company, all that, right? Put it down on a fucking Excel sheet, whatever you got to do. Write it down on your notepad first and then transfer it, however you got to do it, right? You get back to your lab, you look at it, you scan it, you start calling everybody up, cold calling. You start asking them questions about real estate. How much is the apartment going for? How long has it been since someone has occupied that space? How much is it a square foot? Can I bring pets? Can I bring fishes? Can I bring cats? Like, what the fuck is going on? All of these questions, right? Now, you may not have a real estate license. So fucking what though? What you're doing is valuable because you're learning, right? So what you're doing now is you're still earning. Like second house is earning potential, right? But third house Gemini is the activity of that earning potential. Why am I grabbing my ear? You might have seen this in another video that I did. I'm grabbing my ear because the word ear is inside of learning and earning as well. So is bringing money home and spending on yourself the same thing? Yes and no. Yes and no, because when you're in your neighborhood and you're in your community, you know, of course, if you're a child, you live with your parents, you can still bring money home. No, a lot of children do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of children have before. Some children still do. Some grown-ups still do bring money home to their parents and stuff like that, take care of their parents, live with their parents and everything. You know what I mean? Some people, parents are older, you know what I mean, getting sick or whatever the case may be, they take care of their parents, right? So they bring the money home. So, but when you bring money home, when you're taking care of home, you're taking care of the three first necessities: food, clothing, and shelter, right? Food, clothing, and shelter. So learn the difference between clothing and fucking second house clothing, all right? Because when we're talking about second house clothing, we're talking about Taurus fucking clothing. So that means you will fucking get fashionable like a motherfucker. It's a materialistic world. Louis, Gucci, Prada, whatever the fuck is in right now, you gotta have that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking fashionable world. Check me out though. If you're looking to do this shit maturely, you're first going to look at your first house and say, okay, let me come back to source, or let me view this thing, because now I can identify and segment what I'm going to put in my savings account and what I can spend on myself so that it reflects my materialistic attitude, right? But this is after you've reached a sense of spirituality. This is after you reach a sense of charitable sense, and it doesn't have to mean by giving away money. It could be giving away anything, your time of day, advice, whatever the case may be, and then you dart back out in an Aries style, but now as a soldier who actually knows something, not dumb Aries. This is the Aries that has been through some scrapes and bruises, learned some things along the way, and now they're coming back out but they're still like a soldier. They're like, okay, all I need is 2 fatigue suits, some rations, my fucking locker, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But then they say, okay, I'm going out in the public as a civilian. Let me go to motherfucking whatever store it is of your preference, right? Let me treat myself nice, because they've been through the whole wheel and they've understood what it is that they need to take care of. But if you're going, again, if you're going from third house and you're going straight to the second house, let me go get my tracksuit and put it on with my Jordans and all that and go out into the world and let them know who I am. You know what I'm saying? What you're going to do is you're going to repeat that same cycle, and you don't know how long you're going to repeat that same cycle. Now, I'm not saying that people don't become wealthy based upon that type of attitude, that type of financial attitude. But what I'm saying is those people can a lot of the times become, what do you call that? Asset rich? No, not even asset rich, but kind of asset rich, or just have a lot of stuff that looks like they have money. Sure, they spent a whole lot of money on it, but these types of things, items, and stuff depreciate as soon as they buy it. It's only as valuable as the people who are looking at you determine it to be. And yes, you can come up with more business deals based upon that. However, you can be stuck in the learned behavior. When people say you get it how you live, you can be stuck in the learned behavior, the repetitious behavior of how you get it, because you're still stuck in third house shit. You're still stuck in third house shit. Now, what do I mean by this even more, right? Is that you've only learned a certain amount of information. So you can't really branch out and broaden your horizons if you're just accustomed to learning inside of the third house, earning inside of the third house, and bringing it back to your second house, right? You can't really do that. Now, if you're more along the lines of being domestic, family oriented and stuff like that, then you're going to go this way. You're going to bring the money home. You're going to ask questions to your parents too. Well, what type of mortgage do we have? Is this a lease? How much is left on the house? Can we pay it? How much do you and daddy even make a year? You'll ask questions like that because you're concerned, and you'll find out that when your parents or whoever your caretakers are and they want to be combative when you ask about stuff like that, this is when you develop a sense of manhood and say, well, you know what? This is where we part ways. You know what I mean? This is where we part ways because this house ain't big enough for the both of us or for all of us. You understand what I'm talking about? So now, do you want some concrete, solidified proof of what I'm saying? Check this shit out, right? 64% of Americans have never left America. All right? So what the fuck does that tell you? Well, maybe you don't know. I'm going to tell you what they actually said. They said they don't leave America because they don't have the money to leave America. Okay? And if and when they do go on vacation, it's within America. And 9 times out of 10, these people are calling into work while they're on vacation, thinking about work or worrying about work while they're gone. Okay? This is no way to live. If you ask, depending on who you ask, right? Some people may just be accustomed to it, especially Americans. So the answer is they working too fucking much, right? The dilemma is, and remember in the beginning of the video, I said that this video is about Gemini, Prince of Air, knowing that poverty is ruining your fucking life, but they don't know how to come outright out and say it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Gemini two-faced, this is why they get the rap for being two-faced, because they'll express to you and a whole conglomerate of people that the rich and the poor, they can live together amongst each other in peace and harmony. They should, as a matter of fact. And it can be done based on an idea or a shared system of ideas to where there is some type of, communication going on. You know what I'm saying? And the ability for people to be able to think in a way that makes them even on all levels. Not this whole coerced, pressed way of doing things, right? So in a sense, they're also saying like old people suck. With this whole the meek shall inherit the earth shit, it's kind of like they suck because Gemini is learning, but Saturn in Capricorn is teaching. And Gemini's energy is just saying like, listen, you don't really have to teach us stuff that we're already learning on our own within our communities. You understand what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm telling you, when you get to the 7th house and you get to that Libran shit, that's when shit gets different. That's when shit gets more alleged upscale, because now you're doing types of contracts, same types of contracts, but different contracts with people and entities on a level that works for Saturn, right? Gemini does not necessarily work for Saturn. Gemini is more like, yo, this is my hood. We know each other over here. We're doing fine. We're cool. Don't fucking worry about it, right? But this is what can happen. And Gemini starts playing the devil's advocate, because Gemini is like, when something occurs, right, they're like trying to unite two sides that actually do, in reality, have issues with each other. And then things occur, take place, like in your community, in your neighborhood, that suggests there needs to be a line drawn in the sand. Okay, so let me tell you how Gemini, let me give you an example of how Gemini plays devil advocate. All right, it's like this, right? Let's say you live in Texas and you have a construction job in Texas, right? So you got your apartment, you're living in Texas, let's say you're living in a building, you're in Texas, you're doing your thing, you got your construction job, wintertime comes, and then the work starts getting short, right? Next door to you, you have, you hear a lot of noise at night, a lot of fucking going on, right? And you're like, yo, what the fuck is going on next door? So you come to find out, right? Because you're in the community, you start learning inside of your community. You learn that there's a whorehouse next door. Not only that, but there's some people that, you know, come from different states, maybe different countries, right? They're not even supposed to really even be there, but here nor there. Not to even narrow it down that much, let's just state that these people are criminals, and you know this for sure. Not only that, the landlord of this building knows what they're doing there, that they're selling pussy there, right? Selling sex. It don't gotta be pussy. Selling sex, right? Fucking guys are buying shit, whatever. Right? Might be girls buying it too, right? I'm acting like this is a real fucking story, right? But listen, this is a perfect example. Trust me when I tell you. So you find out about this shit. The landlord knows about this shit. And I'm just saying, right? Be real with yourselves. If they're making money off of this illegal activity, the landlord knows about it. They're paying the landlord every month rent. The landlord ain't saying shit. He's letting it keep on going. Why? Because he's getting paid for it. He pays the money to the property taxes of that building. The property taxes go back to the government. So what's happening here, no holds barred, no fucking sugarcoating this shit, is the money is being washed through real estate. Illegal money through the sex trade is being washed through real estate. Flat out. Of course, it's probably going to be used with cash money, because no one is cashing checks and sending fucking money transfers to buy sex. All right, so this is pretty much done with cash. Can't be traced unless you are the fucking landlord, or you are the established, maybe even the bank that these monies are being allocated through. You know what I'm saying? But of course, with the way that it's structured, landlord puts money inside a bank for real estate purposes. It's a no-brainer, nothing to investigate, right? But any fucking way, you know this shit, right? Rent time comes around. You're slow in work. Now, the landlord knows you too. You fuck with the landlord too, right? When you all work in construction, you pay the landlord, bong, everything is fucking gravy. But now that you're out of work, you're telling the landlord, like, yo, listen, I'm kind of short this month. I only got about a third of it. I can give you the other fourth next month. When it rolls over into next month, I can pay you on top of the next shit, because, you know, more work is going to be coming in when it gets a little bit warmer. Your landlord says, no, get the fuck out. Want my money or you can get the fuck out. You're like, hold on, wait. You know, I've been paying you for 18 months now. Like, you can't let me slide. Landlord is like, look, if you don't get the fuck out, if you don't pay me this money, you're going to get the fuck out of this apartment. If you don't get out of this apartment, I'm going to give you a notice, and the fucking marshal will be following up behind that notice. I'm fucking playing with you. What you think this is, right? So now you, like, you know, you're praying to, like, Jesus, Mary, whatever, right? And you're like, thou art thou, how thou forsaketh me. This is fucked up, right? And you're just like, yo, the fuck? The people next door, they are fucking selling sex illegally. And they're paying this motherfucker. He knows all about it. There's traffic going in and out of here. There's like tons of bitches in here with mini skirts and shit. Like everybody knows what the fuck is going on over here. No police are arresting these motherfuckers. No one's going to jail. No one's losing their apartment. Why? Because it's making money. But you're learning, right? You're fucking learning now, right? You're learning the way of the fucking world, right? And this is where Gemini's dilemma comes from, because Gemini thinks that we're supposed to consolidate people based upon ideas and, you know, the types of ways that they are okay to live amongst each other and live next door to each other. But look at your situation. You're treated unfairly, or you perceive yourself to be treated differently. And I'm not saying Geminis feel this way or operate this way. I'm just saying Gemini energy, third house energy, period, is the devil's advocate, because it's saying, look, we can do this together. We can live right next to each other until some shit like this happens. And then all of a sudden you have well-intentioned. So Gemini people are well-intentioned. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You know what I'm saying? Now, there may come a time when the Gemini people and the Gemini energy is with the whole drawing a line in the sand. And it's based upon things that they have learned behavior. Okay, stick up kids come and they rob shit when they're poor because of the community that we're in and there's not enough jobs, or whatever the fucking case may be. You know what I'm saying? So a Gemini might try to go create jobs. A Gemini might go try to do fucking something. And if they're not actually doing it, they're speaking about it so that it can create some type of change in that element. You understand what I'm talking about? But this may not come later on in life, especially because now we're talking about lessons learned. And that is when Saturn comes in. And Saturn is more about maturity, and when you grow up and when you've learned to the degree that it becomes a lesson, right? Gemini in the third house is also the first indicator of quantum leaping, dimension jumping, multiverse, and all of that stuff. There is two of you, and Gemini is the first indicator of that. Now, what the fuck am I talking about now, right? This is amazing shit. There is two of you. Those of you who are dreamers, and I don't mean like, oh yeah, I dream to make a big one fucking thing. Not that type of dreaming. I'm talking about when you go to sleep and you dream and you have some vivid shit going on and you're like, holy fuck, when you wake up, you're like, wow, what the fuck was that? It feels like a DMT trip, because that's really what it is. It's DMT being processed in your brain that's making you have that type of hallucination when you're dreaming. Or is it a hallucination? It depends on who you ask, and it depends on how you choose to view it. But you get what I'm saying, right? You have these types of dreams and you see yourself somewhere in the world manifesting, or already have manifested something that is huge. Or maybe it's not even that huge, but you know and you feel that it's something that you have not done. And in the same breath, you feel that and you know that it is something that you've done already. But when you wake up, you rise out of your bed and you look around, and that's not your reality. This is the first indication of you having two of you, there being two of you, right? Now, you may look at this and say, well, do you mean like there's another me in a different dimension? And that's possible. That is kind of what I'm saying, right? But I'm also saying that that other you that you're seeing in your dreams is also, or has the potential to also be you in this waking state when you wake up. The only thing is that you have not actualized it in this waking state because you have yet to do something. So the third house also becomes the house of causality. Causality. What you do in action, thought becomes action. What you do and becomes action in the third house causes something else to happen. It opens something else up. And it will cue you. It will prompt you. Cueing and prompting. If you study psychology, please look into cueing and prompting. It will prompt you and remind you of those hints that says, oh, remember that dream? Remember that yellow motorbike that you were driving in that dream? You didn't have it yet, right? But you see some type of signal based upon where you went one day, let's say in your neighborhood. Maybe you've seen the actual bike, somebody ride past on it, or you passed a motorcycle shop that you've never even passed the block but today you just happen to go past it. You see the bike in front of this motorcycle shop, and you're like, oh shit, there it goes right there. There it goes right fucking there. Next thing you do is you look at the price tag. It costs $2,700. You got $1,500 in your savings account in your second house. What are you going to do? If you really want it, if you like what you've seen in that dream and you can see yourself actualizing that, you might go run some errands. You might go make some more store trips, right? Get some more trips to the store so you can earn some more money. I'm just saying that as a reference, like as an analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? You'll go do some odd jobs. You'll go work to get some money to go solidify that so you can bring it into fruition. So this is what I mean about jumping worlds. So like the Super Mario game, Super Mario Brothers. If you played that back in the days, excuse me, I'm excited about this information. But if you've played that back in the days, the first one, you can remember when you do like little shortcuts and shit on certain boards, it brings you to the back where you get these 3 pipes that you can go down, and it brings you to different worlds. You can skip worlds and go to a different world. This is the first indication of that being able to happen in this earthly plane. The same, you ever seen Jumper? This is this movie, this dude, this young kid, he just be time jumping, teleporting all over the fucking place. It's a gift. Gemini is the beginning house of accessing that ability to utilize that gift. I'm telling you this shit. So let me tell you more of how you are able to time jump, dimension jump, enter the multiverse, come and go as you please. There are different types of incomes. There is earned income, there is residual income, and there is passive income. There is also loans. All right. So these different types of money activities, I call them because that's what it is. Money is really energy. So these are assigned to different houses. Now, you'll hear astrologers most of the time say that the second house is a money house, say that some even say that the fourth house is a money house. Some people say the 8th house is a money house. Some people say the 11th house is the money house. I'm telling you from my perspective and from my studies and from my learning that the 3rd house is a money house. The 8th house is a money house, and the 9th house is a money house. The 11th house is a money house, but it's not quite what everybody thinks it is, I've come to find out. So let's get back to the 3rd house. The 3rd house is about earned income. It's about earned income. So this means you trade your time for money. So it's just like going to the store. Hey, can you go to the store for me? You think real quick. Okay, that's going to take me 5 minutes. How much you going to give me? Give you $5 if you go to the store for me. All right, that's $1 a minute. I can fuck with that. Give it to me. You go to the store, so on and so forth. This thing gradually grows, of course, when you start running bigger errands and stuff like that, right? Now, what happens here is the financial attitude gets tracked while you're doing this, right? So it's just as simple as saying this. The money that you earn, if it goes right back into earning more money, which is doing more of trading your time for money, yet you don't have residual income, then you're in trouble. You're going to find yourself repeating the same patterns that you've repeated for year after year after year after year. And then you're going to be looking to gurus and asking people for advice and be like, well, why the fuck or how the fuck can I change this shit and stop it from happening? I want to do something different. It's really about your financial attitude. If you're looking at it as earned income all the time, you're not graduating from the 3rd house. You're not skipping worlds, dude. You're not jumping through the fucking Super Mario pipes to fucking dimension jump. And the dimension jump tubes are in the 3rd house. They're in the 9th house, and they're in the 12th house with the mutable signs. Now, I didn't say Virgo. I'm going to tell you why in a second. I didn't say Virgo, which is the last mutable sign, or the other mutable sign, rather. And I'm going to tell you why. But those are the dimension jumping houses. You're not graduating because of, like I said, your financial attitude. As soon as you make it, you put it back in. So it's just like it's just like driving a car in Manhattan, like driving a car in New York. Like, what the fuck would you go buy a car for in New York? You know what I'm saying? Whatever floats your boat. I'm not trying to tell y'all what the fuck and do with your life and shit. But me, why the fuck would I buy a car if I'm working in New York on a daily basis, in and out, over the bridges, through the highways, through the expressways? It just costs too much fucking money. It is not a profitable thing to do. All of that money, no. If I'm not getting up highway miles and got jobs in different states that pay a whole lot of money that will result in residual income, then I'm not doing it. I'm not buying it. It's not a purchase of mine. I don't care about the second house when I'm in the third house.